Hi, second grade. We have spent the last few days reading the book 4 Feet, Two Sandals. Today, we are going to use this text to help us learn a new skill. So, the new skill that we're going to be learning today is called point of view. And point of view means how a character feels about an event that is happening in a story. So, yesterday we talked about story structure and pulling out some of the key events that happen in a story. Today, we're going to spend some time thinking about how the different characters feel and respond to those events. So, to give you an idea of how characters can feel differently about different events that happen in a story, I wanted to share with you this little comic strip. So, in every frame of the comic strip, it is raining, but the three characters that we see here all have different points of view about the rain. The first character, the reporter, is saying this rain is going to damage all of my equipment. So she's probably, her point of view is that she's worried about the rain. She's worried it's going to ruin her reporting equipment. That's her point of view. The panda character in the middle, his point of view is that he loves the rain because he's saying this rain is helping my plant grow. So they have different points of view about the same event that it is raining. And the third character is saying, my wedding is ruined because of the rain. So she's feeling sad about the rain. Her point of view is that she's upset or sad about the rain. So all three of these characters are experiencing the same event that it is raining, but their points of view about the rain are different. So while we're reading our text today, we're going to be thinking about how the characters in 4 Feet, Two Sandals have different points of view about events that happen in the story. So this is the anchor chart that we're going to be using with point of view this week. And what it mostly is saying is that there are certain questions you can ask yourself to try to figure out the point of view. So the first question is, what does the character say or think? In our comic strip, we could see what all of the characters were saying, and that was a big clue as to how they were feeling about the event that was happening. How would the character sound saying it? So is the character going to be yelling? Is the character going to be crying while they're saying it? Those can be clues to help us figure out their point of view as well. And what does the character do? What are their actions that they take because of the event? We can put these things together, and that will usually help us figure out what does the character feel or think about events? What is their point of view? So let's practice with our text that we've been working with all week. I'm going to reread a section of the text that you should be very familiar with right now, and then we're going to practice figuring out the point of view of one of the characters. Then you, on your own, as your independent practice for today, are going to figure out the point of view of the other character using the same chart and the same system that I use in my model. So make sure that you're paying close attention to how I do this when I get to the modeling portion. But before that, let's just reread to refamiliarize ourselves with what's happening at this point in the story. So I see the pictures of Feroza and Lena, and they're in the stream. This is towards the end of the middle of the story. One morning, they went to the stream and washed their sandals to keep them looking new. Lena, come quick, Feroza's grandmother called. Your mother says your name is on the list. Feroza grabbed the sandals. The two girls ran ahead to the office. Lena stood on tiptoes and squinted at the sign. Mama's name, it's here. We are going to America. She looked at her friend. My name is not there, Feroza said quietly. She looked at her feet as she spoke. Then she bent down and took the sandals off. She handed them to Lena. You cannot go barefoot to America. Feroza gave Lena a hug. So, friends, the question that I'm asking, or that I'm going to be answering today is, what is Lena's point of view about seeing her mom's name on the list? So, to do this, I'm going to reread the portion of the text where Lena is speaking, and I'm going to be thinking, what does Lena say or think? How does Lena's voice sound as she's saying it? And what does she do? Once I've answered these three questions, I'm going to be able to figure out What is Lena's point of view about her mom's name being on the list? So the part where Lena's speaking, it says, Lena stood on tiptoes and squinted at the sign. Mama's name, it's here. We are going to America. She looked at her friend. My name is not there, Feroza said quietly. She looked at her feet as she spoke. Then she bent down and took the sandals off. She handed them to Lena. You cannot go to America. You cannot go barefoot to America. Feroza gave Lena a hug. So I'm looking at this top part because this is where Lena is speaking. So when I go to answer my first question, what does the character say or think? The answer is, she says, Mama's name, it's here. We are going to America. That's what Lena says when she finds out that her name, her mom's name, is on the list. The next question is asking me how she sounds when she says this. Well, I can see exclamation points at the end of everything she's saying. So that tells me that she sounds excited. When I see exclamation points, that means that somebody is like yelling. So I know that she's excited that her mom's name is on the list and she's saying it in an excited voice. The last question is, what does the character do? I don't quite remember, so I'm going to go back and read in the text and see what action is Lena doing at this point in the text. So it says, Lena stood on tiptoes and squinted at the sign. Well, if someone's standing on tiptoes and pointing at something, that again is telling me that they're probably feeling pretty excited. It also is saying that she's hugging Feroza. I can see that in the picture. So I'm going to add, she stands on tiptoes and squints to see the list. She hugs Feroza. So I'm going to put all of this together and to answer the question, what is Lena's point of view about seeing her name on the list? Lena's point of view is she's happy and excited to be going to America. I know this because she's saying things in an excited voice. She's using explanation points. She's standing on her tiptoes, squinting, trying to see if her name is on the list. But she is going to miss her friend. And I know this part because she hugs Feroza at the end. So I put all of my answers together to come up with Lena's point of view. Now it's your turn. So your assignment for today that you're going to be completing in Google Docs is the same event that I just read, but what is Feroza's point of view? So you're going to go back in the text. You're probably going to want to go back to the page that I read and do just what I did, but this time you're doing it for Feroza. So what does Feroza say or think? How would the character sound saying it? How would she sound saying what she said? What does Feroza do? And then finally, you're going to write a complete sentence about Feroza's point of view about seeing Lena's mom's name on the list. So make sure you might want to just pause the video right here as you're filling it out, because this is going to have all of the information that you need to answer the question about Feroza's point of view. Please make sure you are going to be turning it in today, so don't forget to check your work and make sure that it's work that you are proud of.